Happy birthday, Jesus! Merry Christmas to everyone, and welcome to Good God, Let's Eat. Today we're going to be making biscuit cake. It's a cake. We're making a cake for the Christ.
Jesus Christ!
It's a cake, and it's made out of biscuits and some butter and sugar and cinnamon, and you just throw it in a bundt pan and you put it in the oven. And it's delicious. How do you describe something as perfect as biscuit cake? You know, all I can say is that I just remember having it every Christmas morning. Something my dad would, make on Christmas Eve night, or before we woke up to open presents on Christmas morning. And it's so special and perfect to me. It's indescribable. And all I can say is you got to make one to really experience what biscuit cake is, and then maybe come up with your own adjectives as to how to describe the complexities of such a wonderful Christmas delicacy. So here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 3 cans of flaky buttermilk biscuits. Then you're going to need 1 cup of butter, and you're going to want to melt it down before you start filming your first episode of your cooking show. So we're going to have to do that in a second. Then you're going to need some cinnamon, nutmeg, brown sugar, and some chopped pecans. Those are optional if you're not a nut person or whatever. Cool. All right, let's get started. So we're just going to open these cans of biscuits. Okay. Yep, there we go. And we're just going to cut these into quarters. All right. Okay. We're just throwing trash on the floor right now. We're just going to cut them into quarters. That way they fit in the pan a little bit better, and you get little bite-sized pieces. Actually, first, before you throw them in the pan, you should probably grease your pan down. I'm just going to use a little bit of this stick of butter right here. Boom, boom. You could use, Pam, or you could use butter that you're not supposed to be using to actually make the cake. But I forgot to get the Pam out before I started, so that's fine. That'll work. See, we just grease the inside of it a little bit. And you could, I guess, make your own biscuits if you wanted to. If you want to try that hard on Christmas or Christmas Eve. But we always just use these flaky canned biscuits because it just makes it easier. It's just as delicious. Excuse me, I got a burp. Oh, nice. Pulled pork sandwiches. So, I'm just going to finish cutting these up. Okay. All right. Every time. Okay, here's the thing. I know it might be daunting to make a birthday cake for Jesus Christ because, he's the Savior of the world. He created everything. He's perfect. But I think that Jesus just wants a cake the same way that he wants us. Just as we are. No frills, no extra decorations. Even if it doesn't come out exactly how we wanted it to, I think that he would prefer that over trying to make a pristine and beautiful cake that really isn't real or raw. So that's why I think biscuit cake is the perfect cake to celebrate Jesus' birthday. Let's make the filling. Okay? All right, so we're gonna do 2 cups of brown sugar into the bowl first. I don't pack it in. I'm just kind of scooping it out into the bowl. So I'm gonna do about a teaspoon of cinnamon. There's that, and maybe, like a 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. Let's go ahead and get all that mixed up. It smells so good. Cinnamon and brown sugar is definitely one of the best smells in the world. And then once we get that butter in there, that hot melted butter, it's really gonna come together. Okay, that's all kind of mixed up, and I'm just gonna go for it. Just gonna pour all that butter in there, and we're just gonna mix it up until it's all combined and nice and homogeneous. This is the best part of the biscuit cake, obviously, because it's sugar and butter. But what happens is when it cooks, you know, it gets absorbed by the biscuits a little bit, but also it creates this nice little crust that happens. And when the cake completely cools, it forms this nice, like, crunchy, sugary kind of glaze that is pretty incredible. Okay, so we've got our butter and brown sugar, cinnamon and nutmeg all mixed up. Now I'm gonna chop up about a half cup of pecans. And then we're gonna just fold those in there. They kind of come out like those glazed pecans you can get like at, I don't know. The only place I can think of that I usually get them is Buc-ee's. Just right there sitting next to the cash register. They've just got this thing of glazed and toasted nuts and pecans that just smell amazing and they taste even better. So we're gonna throw all these in there, get them folded in.
You just fold it in.
Yes, yes. Okay, all right, let's bring this over here. Get that sharp knife out of the way. Whoop. All right, so we've got half of our biscuits quartered in the bottom of this bundt pan, and we're gonna pour about half of the filling or the glaze in here and just kind of mix it around a little bit, and then we're gonna top the rest of the cake with the rest of the biscuits, and then pour the rest of the glaze on top, and then we'll be good to go. All right. Oh, it's gonna be so good. See, it's really easy, and you could make it more complicated if you wanted to, but it's Christmas, you know? I don't want to make 3 batches of homemade buttermilk flaky biscuits. I don't want to like sit by the stove and make a perfect little glaze or sauce or whatever. I just want this to be something easy and delicious, and honestly, this is just the way that I remember it. It's the way that we still eat it every Christmas morning when we're with my family. It's just a tradition, and sometimes traditions taste better than making it fancy or making it, you know, everything homemade. You know, it's just a part of the Christmas experience for me and my family. So, all right, so we've got all the biscuits in there. I'm gonna press them down a little bit before I get that nice little butter sugar sauce in there.
Finish him.
Because when they bake, they're gonna rise, and I don't want them rising out of the pan. All right, and then we're just gonna do a little bit of this. Okay, cool. That's it. That's all it takes. This is what it looks like going before we put it in the oven, and I've got my oven preheated to 350, and we're gonna put it in there for about 45 minutes to an hour, kind of depending on how your oven's going, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so check this out. I started doing something else after I put the biscuit cake in the oven to bake, and I smelled something burning, so I went over to the oven to see what was happening. I noticed that one, my oven is very dirty, but also that the butter and the sugar started to bubble up and seep over the hole in the bundt pan and fall onto the bottom of my oven, and it was burning. So, you know, instead of changing things at the last minute, you should probably just follow the recipe card. And the recipe card says to make it at 300 for 40 minutes. Again, I had to do mine for about an hour the first time I made it. And just follow the recipe card or you might burn your whole house down. Okay, our biscuit cake is completely cooled, and we have done our best to make sure that it all ended up on the plate, but some of it is still at the bottom of this bundt pan, and that's just kind of how it goes. You know, it all tastes the same. Everybody's already munching on it. It's really good.
That's good.
Yeah?
Mommy will see that and I will tell her, you have to eat that. And you have to try it. You have to try it.
That's what you're gonna tell Mommy?
Because it tasted very good.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's just dig in on this little piece right here. So good. Flaky, soft. Cooked it for the perfect amount of time. It all kind of came apart. I'll show you my test one. This one actually came out a little bit better. See, nice little bundt shape. We've already taken a few slices out of this one, but here we go. So that's it. All right, well, that's how you make biscuit cake. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a Merry Christmas, and maybe make this with your family and make it a part of your family tradition. Happy birthday, Jesus. Thanks for watching again. Peace.
Peace.